Hey y'all. Alright. I'm about to give a PSA because what I just heard and what I just saw made me sick. Alright. Ladies and gentlemen. Because it's not just the ladies. Listen. Do not, or let me just preface it. So I just had a client and she's going to remain nameless. It was a young lady. I want to protect her privacy and protect I'll just leave it at that. I'll protect her privacy. But anyway, she just came in and I just had a one-on-one coaching session with her. She is trying to purchase a home. But I pulled, hey, Miss Joyce, I'm getting ready to tell it. So Miss Joyce, who just joined in, I just told her this story because we work together. All right, so lady just came in. She's getting counseling on trying to purchase a home. Of course, when you're purchasing a home, I'm looking at credit. I'm looking at credit history, budgeting. How can you budget? Savings. I'm looking at bank statements. I'm looking at all your personal information pretty much. So I see everything in front of me. So I'm doing her workup to see how much house she can really afford with her budget, what kind of programs we can give her, all of that good stuff. So I'm looking, and on her budget, she has a car payment on there of $1,023. That's right, $1,023. So I said, well, what kind of car is this? And she said, a Mercedes, but he's paying it. Okay, who's he? He's paying it. Oh, my ex-boyfriend, my child's father. What? Oh, yeah, I got the car in his name. What? Ladies, young ladies, as an older lady or a woman of a certain age, I want to give you advice. And some of you old ones, I want to give you advice too. Don't put that type of thing in your name. It will affect your credit. It will affect your debt to income ratio, and it will affect your bank account if that person is not going to hold up to their end of the bargain, because hopefully the arrangement was for them to pay that debt that they ask you to partake in, to be a part of. So anyway, I'm not going to say her income, but her income was a modest income. Wasn't too low, wasn't high. It was a modest income. But after the workup, I discovered that she only qualified for a $35,000 house. Why? Because she has that as a part of her debt to income ratio. That's almost $50,000 of debt that she has sitting on her credit report that has nothing to do with her. Her child was here with her today. She drove away in a modest car. Guess what? She has no car payment. Hey, Tamia. She has no car payment. So here, this dude has a $1,023 car payment, $1,023 worth of car payment. He's riding around in a Mercedes on her name and on her credit. Ladies, you got to stop doing that. You got to stop co-signing and putting stuff in your name. And some men, too, you got to stop doing that. You got to think about that. Because guess what? This couple broke up. So he's still sporting around in a Mercedes with a car payment of over $1,000, which he has no link to. So at any time, if he decides to crash that car, or if it gets totaled, or someone breaks into that car, or he just says, you know what? I ain't feeling this $1,023 payment anymore. I'm not going to make the payment. Guess what? It is on that young lady, and she has her young child. If she decides to take that car away, what if she doesn't get support for her child anymore? But she drove away without a car payment and in a modest car, and he's riding around in a Mercedes on her dime. So they're not together. So you know there are other women in that car. You know that he might be doing who knows what in that car, and that car is not even officially his car. Thank God he's paying the car payments for her, but what if he decides that he doesn't want to pay anymore? So that leaves her screwed. You know, I can't say it any other way. It leaves her that way because now she only can afford a $35,000 house. Now we live in Maryland, unless you want to buy a home in the hood, deep in the hood, or a home that needs a lot of work and a lot of attention, she's not going to be able to purchase a home for her and her child. Why? Because she has $46,000 sitting on her credit. And because of that payment of $1,023 a month, that's coming out of her modest income. So now I'm sitting here and I have to tell her, when I counsel and coach, I'm very blunt, I'm very honest, and I'm very direct because I want them to get it. I told her, listen, don't co-sign for anyone anymore. And let me take that back. She didn't even co-sign. She put it in her name. So at least co-signing, he's still going to have a bit of the responsibility. When you put something in your name totally for someone else, that's all you, boo. That's all on you. And I just want young women to realize they don't have to do that. They can teach their man how to build their credit. They can teach their man about money and credit and all of that if he does not know, but say it out of love. I'm not going to be able to do that because anything can happen in this relationship where you're no longer there. And I have this child I have to look out for. But she didn't do that. And now she kept saying, that's my ex. That's my ex. So he might just wake up one day and be like, I'm going to Cancun. I don't feel like paying this car payment. And she's going to be stuck. So now she's in the position where she may not be able to buy a home for her and her daughter, or the type of home she wants in the area that she wants, because this huge debt is sitting on her credit. What you say to me? Yes, please stop them, build up their own, then they have no ties. Exactly. But now she has ties. She already has a tie. She has a child, which is a great tie. Hopefully that's working out. Hopefully he's paying child support for her. Let's just hope. I didn't even get that far with her because she had a lot of other issues that she had to clear up financially and credit wise. So I have a follow-up appointment with her in October. So hopefully, I had to try to piece it together because I want her to buy a home. So what I told her to do is, the kicker. Guess how he's paying her? He's paying her with cash. He's paying her $1,023 for that car payment every month with cash. So there's no paper trail. So how is she going to go to a lender to try to get a loan for a home and tell them, oh yeah, I don't pay that payment. Someone else pays it. Let me tell you something. When you go to the lender and you try to get approved for a loan, they need to see all of your documents, your bank statements, your pay stubs, your credit report. They need to see everything. And as far as a lender's concerned, that's on you. That's your payment. If something happens and that person doesn't pay that payment is on you. And that's the problem. And now there's no paper trail. So I try to tell her to get a notarized letter stating that he is making that payment each month. Never receive money in cash. Always have some type of paper trail. If it's, whether it's an app, a check, a money order, PayPal. I'll be right with you, Miss Joyce. A PayPal, anything like that. That's what you have to do in order to have that paper trail in case something goes wrong and you need to see them deposit it in your bank account. When you pull your bank statement, you see that money in there. Something has to be seen. And so the lender's going to have to do that. So I was trying to clean it up on the back end. He's been paying that payment for a while now, and he's just been giving her cash. And then she's been sending it to the car dealership or the loan, whoever the loan is in. I can't remember who the car loan is in, but she's been doing that. So now I had to have her backtrack and get some receipts, because with anything you need receipts. Somebody needs to see that you're paying something. So I told her to get the receipts, and I also told her to get a notarized letter from him stating that he is paying that car payment. But yeah, that's my PSA. I couldn't hold my tongue on that one. I was so upset that she co-signed, she put the car in his name, a Mercedes in his name, her name, car payment, $1,023 a month. She's riding around in a modest little car with her and her child, and she has no car payment of her own. But she wants to do better for her child, and she's trying to purchase a home, and now that's halting the whole deal. So if she does get a home in Maryland, in Baltimore County area, The only house that you can get for $35,000 is a house that you may not want to live in. It may be a crack house, it may be an abandoned house, or it may be a house that needs so much work that she's unable to afford all the repairs. So that's where she is. If she did not have that 1023 payment on there, she may be able to afford a house in the $100,000 range. So that's a huge difference. That type of thing makes a difference. Hey Rondell, hey Bruce. Yeah, I'm talking about a young lady who put a car in her name for her boyfriend, now ex-boyfriend. The car payment is $1023. He's riding around in a Mercedes on her name. And she is unable to purchase a home because of her debt to income ratio, because of that big almost $50,000 debt sitting on her credit report. So, and this is not just for women, men do it too. And I won't say women are more responsible than men. And everybody, I know when you're together, you think that you're going to be together and you think that this is ours and we're making moves, we're making money moves, and we are, you know, building a life together. So if you want a Mercedes, boo, I'm going to get you a Mercedes. But you got to think about that. And that goes another different way. Does he have a job? Does he have a job that's on paper? Does he have a credit score? Does he have a bank account? Think about that. So that's saying something too. So those are some of the clues that you want to ask if you are dating somebody. And I say it all the time. If you can swap spit and kiss somebody, you can swap information. You can ask about credit reports and scores. You can ask about bank statements. You can ask about investments, savings accounts. What do you have to bring to the table? If I have this, what do you have? And those are important discussions that couples need to have. Because had she known that, she could have decided at that point whether she wanted to even deal with him or work with him. I'm not saying if you don't have that, you can't date that person. At least what I'm saying is at least put everything on the table. And that way you know what you're working with. Do you pay your taxes? Do you owe the IRS? Because you know if you marry someone and they owe the IRS, you owe the IRS. If they owe back child support, you owe back child support. You got to know. And all of that love and those rose-colored glasses, yeah, it's nice. It's nice and everything. But when that light comes on and reality comes, you better ask the important questions to your potential mate. And like I said, if you can swap spit, you can swap information. So don't be afraid to ask them important questions. If they're on the up and up, or if they're working on their selves and themselves, then that's fine. They can say that, you know what, my credit is jacked up right now. Do you know how to do you know how to work with credit? Do you know how to make my credit score increase? They can ask you, and you may be able to help them. You may know about investments. You may know about savings. You might be good at saving. You might be good at budgeting. You can help your mate in that, but at least you know up front and you have everything on the table. Thanks, Bruce. You have everything on the table, and that's really what it's about. When you get to be a woman or a man of a certain age, you don't have time for games and foolishness. And I know once people get into relationships at later stages in life, people have been through deaths and divorces and, you know, layoffs and unemployment and all of that. So of course, sometimes the credit is going to be jacked up. Sometimes the money may not be right. Sometimes just things just may be just all jacked up, but that doesn't mean it can't get better. But if you keep it a secret and you realize that your man or woman ain't got no bank account, they don't have any money in the bank, they don't have a credit card in case of emergency, they don't have a savings account, well, they do have a savings account, the fact that nothing is in it never comes up. You want to know. And that doesn't make a man or a woman a gold digger and all about money. That makes a man or a woman smart when you ask the important questions. So that's my PSA for today. I know I've been all over the place, but you guys got exactly what I'm saying. So just take that to heart. And let me tell you something. I got 2 daughters. They already know you're not putting nothing in your name for no man. And I don't mean no harm. If you're working together and building together, that's fine. But if you're with somebody and that you're just kicking it, you're not putting anything in your name. And men, you need to tell your sons that too. Don't do that. I mean, love is love. Okay, but when you ask someone to do that for you and there's something that you're not even willing to do, or you know that that's something that could possibly hinder them in the future, or you have no plans on being with them in the future, you should never ask someone to do that and jeopardize their livelihood, especially if they have children. Hey, Susie Q. Hey, Malcolm. So that is my PSA for today. God bless, and I hope you guys have an amazing day.